Hey, what's up, YouTubers? This is for traders and for people who want to trade on Nadex. I'm making a video on about 10 or 11 different benefits of trading on Nadex as opposed to trading on a brokerage account, or trading currencies on a broker like Oanda. The first one is you get a low account opening balance. So I think before it was 50 or $100, and I had heard they were going to raise it to $250 to open an account. I haven't looked recently, but basically you can open an account for $250, and it's easy to do if you're an American at least. You just give them your details, and you don't even have to show them any ID or anything. Just everything has to match up, and it's really easy to fund the account. You can just use your ATM card or credit card, or I think you can even do a bank wire. But mostly I just use the ATM card, and the benefit of that is you can send in money and you get money back to your ATM account or your bank account that's hooked up to your ATM account, and there's no fees involved for that. That's really cool as opposed to brokerages. Another cool thing is if you trade on Nadex as opposed to brokerages, most of the bucket shops or offshore brokers are bucket shops, not all, but most of them. And if you're in the States or in I think 20 or 30 different countries now, you can get an account at Nadex. If you can't get an account at Nadex, you can open up something through IG, which is the parent company of Nadex. So you might want to check that out if you're not eligible for an account. But anyways, the first benefit, the way I see it, is it's a low account opening that you can do. And the second one is you can use their platform to put trades on. So you're basically using their platform as a server. The reason, here's why I mentioned that. Like if you trade like an auto trader on Oanda, you're going to have to get your own server and place the trades there. That way you can have your computer off, and you can have your buy sell stops and your take profits all entered and all executed without having to have your computer on. The cool thing about Nadex is you can set up a trade like a limit order. So if the market's not where you want it to be, you want to pay only $50, or you want to buy at the money at $50, or you want to buy at 55, or you want to buy at 45, or you want to sell, you can just set that up. Of course, after it triggers, then you're going to have to go back on the platform, put your take profit in there if you want to do that. Anyways, that's the second benefit. The third benefit is the tax advantages. If you're not a wealthy person, probably not a lot of tax benefits you're getting. But one thing that's open to traders, if you trade options, they're considered futures contracts, at least in the U.S. So you're getting taxed 60% at your margin rate. For me, it's zero because I'm not working right now. And then the 40% is taxed at your long-term capital gain rate. So for that, that's pretty cool. Like if you're in a high tax bracket and you want to trade actively, you can get that tax benefit. Here's another one, number 3 or number 4. There's huge leverage. It's implied leverage. By that I mean, like if you want to buy something for $10, at Nadex everything closes in the money or out of the money. So the payout's either going to be 0 or 10. So if you buy something for 10 and you win, you get paid your $10 of that plus your 90 minus commission. So that's almost 1,000%. That's like 1,000% return. That's pretty huge. And when you consider you only have to put $10 as your margin up for that trade, that's pretty cool. And it's the same thing like if you're buying for 50 and you pay out as 100, that's that you've doubled your money. So in a short amount of time, you can get a lot of leverage, as opposed to like when you trade on Oanda. At least if you're an American, you can trade 50 to 1. That's your leverage. I can't remember what the margin would be for a $10,000 position, but it might be a couple hundred or 300. I just can't remember, and it depends on the currency pair. If you trade pound pairs, the margins requirements are going to be higher. If you trade euro or dollar pairs, or Canadian pairs, and so on, the margin's a little bit less. But anyways, that's how I look at it there. You get a lot of margin. I mean, you get a lot of volatility, and you get a lot of leverage that way. And you can only lose your initial investment. So if you invest $50, you can only lose $50. If you invest $10, you only lose $10. The advantage of Oanda or other currency brokerages is you can trade 50 to 1, 100 to 1, and you can hold the position long term and wait for it to go your way. So you can do that, but the problem there is if it goes way against you, you're going to lose a lot of money because of all the leverage you're using. So with Nadex, you just lose whatever you put up. But of course, with Nadex, you have to be right about the timing and the price. Number 5 is it's the low margin rates compared to trading on most brokerages. So like if you want to trade on a brokerage, you only need a couple $100 usually to open an account. But you can quite easily blow that out if you do a one lot trade, which would be $100,000. So on Nadex, you can control. You need a lot of leverage without putting up a lot of money. That's what I like about Nadex. Anyways, number 6 is you're limited to what your downside is. With Nadex, you can only lose whatever you put up. As compared to with other brokerages, you can lose quite a bit more because if the trade goes against you and you don't get stopped out or exactly where you want to get stopped out, you can lose a lot more than you were planning on it. So with Nadex, you can only lose what you put up. Then there's number 7. Nadex has a lot of liquidity. I like that. Canada Exchange in the States doesn't have a lot of liquidity, and you can trade around the clock with Nadex. So you can enter in trades, during the week, and if they get filled like on a weekly or on a daily, you can do that, and that's what's cool about trading on Nadex. And you can trade a lot of instruments on Nadex. You can trade gold and silver, quite a few currency pairs. You can trade indices in the U.S. You can trade the Dow. You can trade the Nasdaq, the S&P 500. You can trade the German DAX. You can trade the Chinese market. So there's quite a few indices you can trade. And there's a few soft commodities. I think soybeans. I can't remember. I think you can trade copper too, but I'm not sure on that. But you have quite a few trading instruments if you like to do weekly trades, or if you like to do like a gold weekly trade can be quite profitable if you use technical analysis and everything, goes your way. You can put on a trade and you can do that. Number 8 is I can trade around the clock, during the week. There's enough liquidity, whereas I can put on trades at, during the London times and during U.S. time and even during the Asian sessions. That's what's cool about that, whereas on Cantor, I can't really do that. Number 9 is I don't need a lot to do this. I only need my margin. I only need my account balance. I only need a laptop, and for my Android, just the Android. So I can trade, earn a living anywhere in the world. That's another cool thing. You don't have to have a lot of capital to get started, to start your trading business. Number 10 is you don't need any trading credentials. It's open entry, as little Chinese like to say. Anyone can trade on Nadex. You don't have to be qualified to doing, anything like that. You do have to fill out the forms and all that, but anyone's welcome to trade. And it's one of the hardest businesses in the world to learn and to get profitable in. But once you do, if you do, you can earn a good part-time income or a good full-time income, depending on where you want to go with that. Number 11. What I like about Nadex, it's really good for simple type trades. With Nadex, you get paid if it's either above or below whatever you think it's going to be. So like to make if you buy something at the money for $50 and you get $50 back, that's your profit. You can be right by a fraction of a pip or a whole pip or 20, 30 pips. It doesn't really matter. That's what's cool about Nadex. You have to get the direction right and you have to get the timing right. So simple strategies you can do where you're trading maybe 30 or 40% of the market days. People have told me there's 250 trading days in a year. I've never verified that, but I have some simple trades that I just do 30 or 40% of the year, and they're quite profitable. So I like that. Then if you want to use or hire a signal service, I don't really believe in reinventing the wheel. There's quite a few good services out there, and they're really good at what they do. And you can just pay for a signal service, fund your account, and you can basically be up and running and trading anywhere in the world or anywhere in the States. So if you want to live in a high-cost region, you can. If you want to live in a low-cost region of the States or the world, you can. And you earn, in dollars through U.S. But anyways, you get my point. You can earn in a hard currency. And there are quite a few simple strategies. If you want to know more, you can go to Janet FX. She has some simple trade strategies she does, and that's what's cool. She doesn't use Nadex, but she uses the brokerages. But once you develop a few simple trades and a few simple uh, strategies to use, you can just basically earn a part-time or full-time income on Nadex. I like to use Nadex in addition to a few other brokerages, but anyways, those are my top 10 or 11 reasons for liking Nadex. If you figure out it, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks. Oh, one more thing. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. Just want to mention, if you're a member of TraderBot.com, or if you go on to Facebook, Ryan put out a signal. The U.S. Canadian dollar has an 85% probability of closing above 125.53. This is the 3 p.m. on Friday, so it's a week from, well, it's about 4 days, but anyways, you get what I'm saying. He's saying it has 85% of closing above 125.53. So there's a free trade for you if you can get a place. Right now, the Canadian dollar is about 126 something. So if you look for a strike down in that range, it's not going to get filled. Not anything that's going to make you any money. Anyways, you might want to put that in, put an order in to see where the market goes. If the Canadian dollar strengthens enough, you might be able to get a strike, down there, or you could just take the trade way out of the money, or you have to decide for yourself how you're going to handle that. But anyway, there's a free trade for you if the market keeps trending, if the Canadian dollar keeps strengthening, and then if you get a reversal around this area, you have an 85% probability of making some money. Just want to put that out there. If you go on Facebook and then look up TraderBot Marketplace, you can sign up. Every once in a while, TraderBot Marketplace has a week where they offer free signals for people. So if you're looking for something like that, you might want to join if you're not aware of it. Anyways, again, I want to thank everyone for listening, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think, and thank you.